What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to talk about Creator's last style. That is called Creator's Pumpkins and was released in the double Halloween banner on August. Yeah, that's right, August. And this character is pretty unique. I need to discuss him further because on the review we didn't have enough information about the new ailment that Creator can inflict. But before we talk about the ailment, let's talk about the character itself. Creator is a damage dealer, but utility character that has good status, agility, intelligence, and even will. When he attacks, he recovers 1 BP. That's good because he gets at least 4. But he has 2 different attacks that can be used with RNG. 50% chance to use horizontal pumpkins. This is a raw, blunt damage attack. 50% chance to use vertical pumpkins. This is a column blunt attack. Okay, so you have 50% chance for each. So both can happen, one can happen, none can happen. But every time that you land a chains attack, it will also trigger the BP gain. This is important because he needs lots of BP gain. But also, he buffs all surviving allies' intelligence by 15% with each hit. That means that he will buff intelligence by at least 15% at all attacks, but sometimes 30% because he chased it once, and sometimes 45% because he chased it twice. That's good because he can use it on mage teams to increase damage potential by a lot. He also grants himself defense boost when he attacks, but that's more about his own survivability. Okay, this is the important thing to discuss, because he needs lots of BP and he has access to if you know what you're doing. Sometimes you'll be using normal attacks. This character was also bugged on release. Normal attacks were not triggering the chase attacks, but it's now fixed and it will trigger. Now let's click on trial. The first skill should not be used, forget about it. Just go and then check Sun Shower. This is a full AoE attack with B power and has 2 elements, cold and sun. Let's see the animation. And when the attack lands, it will trigger an effect, let's call it an ailment, in a boss. And this cannot be removed. It's called Sundered. Sundered is a special ailment created for global that will apply defense down once inflicted, and you attack this target. So, let's say turn 1 you use Sun Shower. Your boss is inflicted with Sundered. That's nice. And then you use someone to attack. This second character will apply defense down to the enemy. That will decrease that defense by 15%. And the third character that attacks will apply again. So in the end, only the third character will actually benefit from this. But not really, because this is very different. It triggers per hit, not really attack. So if you have characters that have multiple hits, like per se Albert's left fork or Leon when he loads all his bullets, this will trigger with each hit. That increases the damage by quite a lot. In all reality, after many tests, it seems like each stack of defense down will increase the damage by 5% because of the damage formally, considering other stuff besides just defense. So, Creator himself has a chase attacks. He can apply the Sundered and even himself start scaling the defense downs by his chase attacks. And then you use someone with multi-hits like Albert, Leon, and then the next character will do even more damage. Now, there is one thing that you need to consider. The defense down only lasts for that turn. So, the effect Sundered lasts for turn 1 and turn 2, but once you go again to attack the enemy on turn 2, the defense will be restored to normal. So the scaling has to start from the scratch. Okay, this is helpful on boss rush situations. Let's say you need to kill a boss before a certain turn, because in that turn it will start going crazy using very strong attacks, like Carmine for example. Carmine will just attack even more times after turn 10 on Remembrance, and each time you attack Carmine, it triggers Heat Up. So you may just want to use all your buffs till a certain turn and then nuke Carmine as soon as possible. So Sundered can help you there. It's more of a gimmick where you can remove one damage dealer from your party and bring Sundered to increase the potential of your multi-hit attackers. That's how it was designed. And this ailment was released with the latest version of Matcha. Some people already use it. I don't think this is game changing or anything, because if you have like 3 strong damage dealers, you can bring those 3 strong damage dealers and they will do very similar. Or you can use 2 damage dealers and bring Sundered. The results will vary depending on the power scaling of your units. Okay, this was the skill number 2. Now I need to talk about skill number 3, Creator's Wrath. This is also a B power AoE attack that has an ailment. This time it's called Intimidated. And this one we had a guess before they released it, Creator, but now we finally understand after running some tests. It's pretty unique. First of all, you use this skill, your enemy will be inflicted with Intimidated that lasts for 2 turns. But Intimidated is an ailment that when your enemy attacks, it will self-harm itself with attack, not defense, attack down. Attack down will decrease the attack value of that enemy by 15%. This will also stack, but we need to understand because it's a different situation here. When you are using Sundered, your character attacks matter, and you can control that by using multi-hit characters. Now, when you apply Intimidated, you apply that before the enemy attacks. If you have enough speed, even place Creator in a position that increases agility, because he needs to use this before the enemy attacks or it won't even matter at all. Then okay, boss goes and use action number 1. It will be on full potential, 100% attack. Then after the first action, it will trigger that attack down, reducing it to 85% attack. Then if this boss attacks a 3rd time, then it will just keep debuffing the attack, reaching 70%, and then if he attacks even further, reaching 55%, and that goes on. But the thing is, it relies too much on boss behavior and number of attacks. Okay, Creator, for example, when you are fighting him in the World Tower, for example, attack it between 3 to 4 times. In that case, it's okay, because you will get some decreased damage by the next attacks. But I still question if this matters all that much, because the first hit will always be on full potential. You will not mitigate the first hit. The second hit is 15%, the third hit is 30% decrease, the fourth hit is 45% decrease, and we have some characters in this game that can apply, for example, shields and defense boosts that decreases damage taken at all times, and they don't rely on cert gimmick. So the problem is that this only lasts for 1 turn. So just like with Sundered, even if you applied Intimidated for 2 turns, on turn 2 the boss is back again to full potential. But also just like Sundered, you can apply Intimidated again on turn 2, and this time, each time that boss attacks, it will cast attack down on itself 2 times. That will decrease the attack by 30%, then 60%, then 90%, and then it reaches 0 and the boss will start doing 0 damage to your party. But that will only work if the boss has multiple attacks per turn. So, well, some bosses act like that, but some others don't. So it's an interesting mechanic, but it is very limited in utility by design. And they did this because it could break the game if it was something that you could just use like Sundered, depending on your characters and not the boss behavior. And they don't want to break the game easily. They still want you to keep summoning for other characters to use in different situations. So it's a niche gimmick for very specific boss fights. So, going back to the character itself, I believe that Creator is not as good as I thought. We imagined that it would be just like Sundered, something that we could control better. But this time, it's more about RNG situations and boss behavior than anything else, something that we cannot control all the time. This will influence the grade of this character. I still believe that it can be considered triple S because of buffing intelligence all the time and having access to Sundered as well. It's an offensive and a defensive mechanic. But this character was just like on the verge of receiving a downgrade because of this. I don't think this is as good as it could have been. It's not really something you'll be using as your main defense mechanic. You should still keep bringing your Final Impresses, your Gustavis, your Barbaras, and other characters that give defense boosts to the party. Even Scroomguard. Scroomguard, you have it all the time. Things like that are more important because sometimes boss can just do so much damage that the first hit that they use are the strongest one. So if you cannot decrease the first hit, you'll probably be dead, right? So I just wanted to talk about this topic for explanation, and I will be sharing a video showcasing how this works versus Alosis and versus Creator. Two different videos, one made by Mumu from our Discord community and another one made by a content creator that I cannot spell the name because it's in a different language, but I'll be crediting it here on the pinned in details. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope this can help you understand how this character works. And for last, I will not be summoning for a creator. I will be skipping because I don't think this is game changing and his next style is better. And I can get him on a rerun. So that's my opinion. What is yours? I see you soon in the next video. Bye.